What if the first thing you feel when you wake up is actually a warning? From your body, most of us roll out of bed assuming the day ahead will unfold like any other. We stretch, yawn, maybe glance at the clock and move on with our routine without a second thought. But what if those first few moments hold the key to something much more serious? As we age, it becomes easier and more common to dismiss strange sensations in the morning. A little numbness in the hand, must have slept funny, a foggy head. Maybe it's just dehydration, some tightness in the chest, probably indigestion, or stress right wrongers. What no one really talks about, some of the earliest signs of life-threatening conditions show up first thing in the morning, and they often show up quietly, subtle, unassuming, but potentially deadly. Because during sleep, your body goes through important cycles. Your blood pressure drops, your heart rate slows, and your body rests. But as you wake, your body ramps everything back up. Heart rate increases, blood pressure spikes, and stress hormones surge. And if something is already wrong, like a blocked artery or a weakened blood vessel, that transition can be the tipping point. In the moment you open your eyes, the countdown begins. In this video, we're going to explore 5 critical symptoms that should never be ignored. If they appear in the morning, these aren't minor annoyances or things you wait and see about later in the day. They are urgent red flags, messages your body is sending, especially if you're over 60, when risk factors for conditions like strokes and heart disease begin to rise. We'll talk about why these symptoms happen, how to recognize them quickly, and most importantly, what to do next, because time matters, and in many cases, responding in the first few minutes can mean the difference between full recovery and permanent damage, or even life and death. You'll hear real stories of people who listened to the signals and those who almost didn't. You'll learn how to spot the early warnings of a stroke, how heart attacks can look very different in the early morning hours, and how subtle balance or speech changes can signal something far more dangerous than simple fatigue. By the end of this video, you'll be empowered. You'll know what to look for, when to act, and how to help not just yourself, but potentially someone you love. Because the truth is, your body doesn't stay silent. When something's wrong, it whispers, and those whispers are easiest to hear when the day first begins. Let's listen closely. Let's get started. Sign number 1, sudden weakness on one side of the body. Picture this: you open your eyes in the morning, ready to start the day, but something feels off. You try to stretch and suddenly realize your right arm won't move. Or maybe your left leg feels strangely numb, heavy, and unresponsive. In that moment, it's easy to shrug it off. Maybe you assume you just slept in a weird position. Maybe you think your arm fell asleep, or your leg is just stiff from yesterday's walk. But here's the truth: you should not ignore it. Sudden weakness or numbness on one side of the body is one of the most common and most serious early warning signs of a stroke. And what many people don't realize is that strokes often happen during sleep. That means the first signs might only become noticeable the moment you wake up. So, what is actually happening in the body? A stroke occurs when the blood flow to a part of the brain is interrupted. This can be caused by a blood clot that blocks a vessel, or a blood vessel that bursts and begins to bleed into the brain. Either way, the brain is suddenly deprived of oxygen and nutrients, and brain cells start to die within minutes. If the stroke affects the part of your brain that controls movement or coordination, you may find that an arm or leg on one side of your body simply refuses to move. No matter how hard you try, it just won't respond. Let me share a real story about someone who went through this. Henry was a retired school teacher in his early 70s. One morning he woke up and noticed something strange. He couldn't lift his left arm. It felt limp and disconnected. He assumed he had just slept on it. Funny, and thought it would pass. But his wife noticed something else too. When he smiled, one side of his mouth didn't move, and his words were slightly slurred. She immediately knew something was wrong and called emergency service. Thankfully, Henry got help quickly, and doctors confirmed that he had suffered a mild stroke during the night. Because they acted fast, he received treatment in time and went on to make a full recovery. The lesson here is simple: if you wake up and notice sudden weakness, numbness, or heaviness on one side of your body, do not wait. Do not assume it's just age or a bad sleeping position. Call for help immediately. Strokes are medical emergencies, and every minute counts. The faster you get treatment, the better your chances of recovery, and the lower your risk of long-term damage. Remember, your body is always sending signals. Sometimes they're loud and obvious, but often they start as a whisper. You just have to know When to listen asterisk sign number to slurred or strange. Speech. You wake up, say good morning, and suddenly your words come out slurred or don't make sense. Maybe you know what you want to say but can't find the right words. This isn't morning grogginess. It's another urgent stroke symptom. Language is controlled by specific regions in the brain. If blood flow is disrupted, your speech can be affected, either slurred, slow, jumbled, or confused. Take Marilyn, an 82-year-old grandmother. One morning her daughter noticed she was hard to understand. On their usual call she sounded off even though she felt fine. Her daughter didn't take any chances and took her to the ER, where doctors confirmed she had a small stroke because they acted quickly. Marilyn recovered with minimal impact. If your speech suddenly changes, don't wait, call emergency services. The earlier the treatment, the better the outcome. Asterisk sign number 3. Sudden vision changes. Opening your eyes in the morning should bring in the light. But if you notice blurred vision, dark patches, or even partial blindness, it's a sign something's wrong. Sudden vision problems, especially in one eye or one side of your visual field, can be another early stroke symptom. Your eyes are directly connected to your brain. If blood flow is cut off to the visual processing areas, you may lose vision, see double, or experience a gray haze. A 76-year-old man noticed a blur in the right side of his vision one morning. He thought it was dirty glasses, but when cleaning them didn't help. His wife urged him to get checked out. It was a small stroke affecting the visual cortex. Because they acted fast, Carl got treatment, and much of his sight returned. If your vision suddenly shifts, blurs, or feels off, listen to your eyes. Don't wait for it to clear up. Get it checked. Sign number for loss of balance or coordination. Imagine waking up feeling perfectly normal. You stretch, sit up, and swing your legs over the edge of the bed, but as soon as you stand, something feels off. The floor seems uneven. Your body sways without warning. Maybe you stumble toward the wall or have to grab a piece of furniture to steady yourself. It is easy to blame it on sleepiness or thinking you just got up too fast. But sudden loss of balance or coordination, especially when it comes out of nowhere, can be a serious warning sign. This symptom is often linked to a stroke or a transient ischemic attack, which is also known as a mini stroke. These events can disrupt the parts of the brain responsible for balance and motor control. Balance is not controlled by just one part of your body. It relies on a complicated system involving your brain, your inner ears, your eyes, and your muscles. All of these work together every second to keep you steady, upright, and safe. When one part is affected, such as the area of your brain impacted by a stroke, the entire system can fail without warning. Let me tell you about Walter, a retired mechanic from Oregon. One morning, he woke up feeling totally normal, but as he stood up, he suddenly fell straight into his bedroom closet. He was not dizzy and did not feel faint. He simply felt unsteady and uncoordinated. His wife noticed something was wrong and insisted they go to the hospital right away. Doctors quickly discovered that Walter had experienced a mini stroke. Because he got help fast, they were able to begin treatment and prevent a larger, more damaging stroke from happening later. Many people dismiss balance problems, especially if they happen first thing in the morning. They might think they just got up too quickly or that they did not sleep well. But if you experience a sudden loss of balance that feels unusual, and you cannot trace it to something simple like tripping or spinning too fast, you need to take it seriously, or body is trying to tell you something. Balance is not something you should lose suddenly without a reason. So if this happens, especially in the morning when your risk may be higher, do not wait to see if it goes away. Get checked out as soon as possible. Asterisk sign number 5. Chest pressure or tightness. You wake up and feel pressure in your chest. Not sharp pain, just tightness, heaviness, maybe a strange fullness. You sit up hoping it'll pass. Morning chest pressure is a major warning sign of a heart attack, especially in older adults. Why the morning? Because stress hormones spike and blood thickens. When we wake up, making existing heart conditions more dangerous. It may not feel dramatic. Sometimes it spreads to your arm, back, or jaw. Sometimes it just feels like you're carrying a weight. Old 72 felt heavy pressure in his chest after waking up. He thought it was indigestion, but when it didn't fade after 20 minutes and his arm tingled, he called 911. It saved his life. Didn't wait to see if it passes. If your chest feels wrong, call for help immediately. It's not about being tough. It's about staying alive. In conclusion, most of us wake up assuming today will be just like yesterday, but as we age our bodies speak in quieter ways, especially in the mornings. Most symptoms can carry big warnings, the difference between recovery and tragedy often comes down to how quickly you respond. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness, knowing what to look for, trusting your instincts, and never being afraid to speak up even if it turns out to be nothing, because it might be something. So tomorrow morning, slow down, take a moment. If something feels off, your vision, your balance, your speech, your strength, your chest, don't wait, act. Your life and the lives of those who love you could depend on it. Asterisk. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Let us know in the comments which sign surprised you most and what you'll be more mindful of from now on. Stay informed, stay alert, stay well. See you in the next video.